Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm going to talk about my favorite highlighters today. I've got 3 palettes to talk about and 7 individual highlighters. I'm going to start with, they're in no particular order. I actually do like all of these. Some I like a little bit more than others, but for the most part I love all of these. So I'm just going to start with this one. This is the Gerard Cosmetics Star Powder in Audrey. I have 2 others and this is definitely my favorite of the lot. This is a warm champagne gold color. It's got a slight peach shift to it. Now the texture of the Star Powders is not as creamy, it's quite powdery. I don't know if you can see that on my finger from the swatch that I've done. It is quite powdery, but it is absolutely beautiful. So that's what it swatches like. Now this is quite intense because I'm using my finger, but you can get a really good subtle glow with this highlight, or you can get it to be quite intense if you use a stiffer brush. But I absolutely love this. It is not as creamy or as buttery as some of the highlighters, but it does blend into the skin well and it looks beautiful. And I absolutely love the packaging of this. I love the fact that it comes with this plastic sort of sleeve. Not a sleeve, sorry, a plastic cover, which protects the mirror from all the powders, and it's a really good mirror as well. So yeah, I absolutely love the packaging of this. I don't like the outer bit because it does get dirty, but the actual compact itself is beautiful. Then the next one I've got is actually a recent purchase, and this is MAC's Oh Darling. This is one of their Extra Dimension skin finishes, and this is another warm gold. It's a little bit more peach than the Audrey by Gerard Cosmetics, but with this one I can get more of a subtle glow with this. If I apply it wet, then I could get a more intense highlight. This is a very creamy formula. It literally melts into the skin, and that's what it swatches like. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. It actually blends into the skin better than the Gerard Cosmetics, but this is one that I've been reaching for a lot since I've got it. And it has a little bit more of a peach tone to it than the Audrey by Gerard Cosmetics. Then another one that is very, very similar to the Oh Darling is this little eyeshadow by Kiko. This is one of the water eyeshadows. It's in number 208. Said to be a dupe for MAC Whisper of Guilt. I don't have Whisper of Guilt, so I don't know. But again, this is a gold champagne-ish color, definitely more gold, and I'll swatch it right next to Oh Darling by MAC. It's very, very similar, a little bit more yellow gold than MAC Oh Darling. This has got a little bit more peach to it, but it's absolutely beautiful. The formula is amazing. Again, it melts into the skin, a little bit more powdery than the Extra Dimension skin finish, but nothing too noticeable. It's got some specks of glitter, like micro glitter, but nothing. Like, I hate glitter on my face and I love these highlighters, so you can't really see the glitter on the face. Absolutely love, 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 love these. And then another one, again another peachy gold highlight, is Champagne Pop by Becca. This is definitely a cult favorite, and for good reason. The Shimmering Skin Perfectors, the formula is so creamy, so buttery, and they really pack a punch. Like, I don't think I can get a subtle highlight with this, but I love the way it looks anyway. I don't mind the popping highlight either, and I love the way it looks on the skin. Again, this blends into the skin beautifully. That's what it looks like. Very, very similar to the Kiko one actually, and it is beautiful. Then the next one I've got is Illamasqua's Beyond Powder in OMG. That's what it looks like. Now this is one that actually doesn't enhance textured skin. It doesn't enhance mine anyway. And this is one that you can use wet or dry. You can use it wet for a more intense highlight. I never do that. I always use it dry because I absolutely love the way this looks. It gives me that glow from within look. It is perfect. This is one of my favorite highlighters of all time. That's what it looks like there. It gives a very, very subtle glow. This is just me blending it in completely. As you can see, it just gives such a beautiful glow. And this is definitely that glow from within look. You can't tell that you're wearing highlighter, it just literally looks like you're born with that sort of a glow. It is stunning. This has, again, it's got more of a peach shift to it, and it's so flattering on NC42 skin tones. Then the next one I've got is by Kevyn Aucoin. This is a stupidly expensive highlight. You don't really get much for it either. This is called Candlelight. This is one of the Celestial powders, and this is beautiful. This is a little bit more powdery, I must say, and not as intense again as some of the other highlighters. It gives you that glow from within look. The thing with this one, and I actually prefer the Illamasqua one over this, although it gives that glow from within look, it's got a slightly more powdery look to it as well. So what I tend to do is I do tend to blend it in, but I do spritz my face with a bit of Fix Plus after, just to get rid of that sort of powdery highlight look. And then once I do that, it actually does give me that glow from within sort of look as the Illamasqua one. But another beautiful colour, very, very subtle though. Then another favourite, another cult favourite is the Mary Lou Manizer by The Balm, and that's what it looks like. It's getting a bit washed out on camera, but that's what it looks like. Another sort of warm gold shade, and this is super intense. Now what I find with this is I can get it wrong really easily with this highlight if I put too much on. It can look ridiculous. It doesn't even look like it's one of those see you from the moon kind of highlights. It just looks horrible. So I've got to be careful with this, but when I put a little of it, it looks beautiful. So that's the highlight over there. That's what it looks like, and that was just one single swipe. And again, it is beautiful when you go subtle with this. I don't like the way it looks when you pack it on. It just doesn't look good. But when you go in with a light hand, it still packs a punch. And it looks beautiful. It doesn't give that sort of glow from within look. It definitely looks like, you know, you're popping, but it is beautiful. But with this one, definitely you can't build it up. But like, I don't personally think it looks good built up. Then the next one I've got is by Colourpop. This is one of the Super Shock Cheek highlighters. This is in Wisp. That's what it looks like. And again, it's another peachy gold. And it's actually what I've got on today. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to swatch that right next to the Mary Lou Manizer, and that's what it looks like. I mean, on my arm they will pretty much look the same, but again, this is a little bit more peachy, almost like a pinky peach compared to the others. So those were the individual highlights. That's what we've got there. These are definitely the more intense ones, which were the first ones I swatched, and these are the latter ones, which are more subtle, except for the Mary Lou Manizer, which is a bit more of a intense highlight. Now for the palettes, let me start with the drugstore one, which I was really surprised with. Now this is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Pro Glow palette, and you can probably see I've used it so much. I use this one quite a lot as a bronzer when I want like a glowy bronzed look. The only one that I've used the least of is this pink one here, but I use that as a blush topper. Now these highlighters are not powdery at all, which was something that I was really surprised about. They've got a really nice texture to it, not as creamy as the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors. These are very similar to actually the Gerard Cosmetics highlighters. In fact, they're less powdery than the Gerard Cosmetics. I've just swatched this shade here. Let's do that swatch again. That's what it looks like there. And again, it's one of those that just blends into the skin. They're pretty much all wearable. This one's very light, so I would mix this in with some of the others, but you know, you can still use all of the highlighters, which is something that it's quite rare for like an 8-pan palette to be all wearable or all usable. But the texture of these is beautiful. The payoff is good. You can use them wet or dry, so you can have them really intense. I use them as it is to get more of a subtle highlight, but you can also use these as eyeshadow. So the darkest one, the more bronzy one, I've actually used as an eyeshadow. And let's find some space here. And that's what it swatches like. So it's a beautiful colour to wear as an eyeshadow. I'll just swatch the palest one and the yellowest one just so you can see what they look like. So that's the yellow one, which isn't too bad either. And then that's the palest one, which would look a little bit ashy on me, so I do mix it in with the others, but again, it is wearable once mixed in. So this is the Kathleen Lights highlighter palette in collaboration with Makeup Geek. And the reason I'm talking about this is because it's got colours that I didn't think I would use. Like, that one's definitely a lot more pink, which I didn't think would suit me. And the darkest one, which is that one there, it's called Sunlight. It's quite dark, but I've actually been able to use all of these. I used the Sunlight as an eyeshadow. I've done a video on it and I'll link that down below. But actually, I've been able to use all three of them. They look fantastic. You can mix them up as well and they look really good. The formula is amazing as well. Very similar to the foiled eyeshadows by Makeup Geek. But the highlighters themselves, fantastic quality, not powdery, they melt into the skin and they look fantastic. I'm just going to swatch them for you. There you go. I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but Beauty Bay had a sale for selling this for £28. I bought it for £40 or £44 and it was going for £28. If you manage to get it in the sale, you're very, very lucky and it's definitely worth the money. Then the last palette I'm going to talk about is one that I think a lot of YouTubers have talked about, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. Now this is in Sun Dipped. And this is definitely complementary to pretty much all skin tones. Like, you've got something for the very pale, which summer would work for the really pale, and then you've got a amber shade here which would work for dark skin tones. Now I've actually again used all of them. I used the darkest one, the bronze one. I've used that as a bronzer, I've used that as eyeshadow, I've used that as a blush topper because I love that colour. I've mixed all of them together and just created my own highlight. These, you know, the glow kits, the formula is amazing. They're creamy, they're not so powdery, and they pack a punch. Like, that's Moonstone from the palette. And it's so beautiful. Again, it blends it into the skin beautifully, really creamy, really buttery. I mean, this palette is not as varied in colour compared to the previous two, but it's definitely one that I recommend. I think it's £40 for this palette for 4 highlighters, full-size highlighters. Definitely worth the money, really good value for money, and yeah, I 100% recommend this palette. So that's a roundup of my favourite highlighters. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you do like it, hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!